Surprise, surprise, everybody. The major Nintendo Direct we're getting this month is going to be an Indie World Showcase. Now, this isn't the least exciting thing. We've seen in previous years some cool stuff announced at these presentations, but all in all, an Indie Showcase is in no way what we would expect from a, real Nintendo Direct. So, this was our announcement that we got this morning. Join us this Thursday, August 7th at 6 a.m. Pacific time for a brand new Indie World Showcase. Always at 6 a.m. Without fail, every single time. It's crazy. I honestly think they really hate the West Coasters, but I'm going to try to be okay with it. But it's going to be roughly 15 minutes of new announcements and updates on indie games coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch systems, and they have a link for you to be able to watch the whole thing. Now, what's cool about this is that obviously they're still going to continue to support the original Nintendo Switch system, which makes a lot of sense. It's a game system that has sold so many units, and a lot of gamers are still very tied to their Nintendo Switch, and they're not really switching over to the Switch 2 immediately because they're, seemingly hasn't been brand new system sellers, except for, I don't know if you guys have played the new Donkey Kong game, but it's amazing. So, going forward, what does this indie world mean? A lot of people were expecting a big new Direct announced of some sort, right? We've had rumors for a long time that we're going to get a big first-party Nintendo Direct last month, then this month, and then back-to-back we've just had rumors about it. And what makes the most sense, frankly, is that they skipped June because of the situation with the Nintendo Switch 2 basically coming out right around then, and they've gone into just expecting a September normal Direct. The partner showcase made sense. It wasn't the most exciting things. There were a couple cool games. I like that Elliot game. It's like a 2D top-down Zelda. Play the demo if you haven't, because I just played it and I thought it was a really decent game. HD 2D style, which I really like. I know it's divisive for some people, but it's a pretty cool experience. Just hoping that they don't go for a game key card, Square Enix. Come on, guys. I think they probably will. It's probably already being confirmed, actually. I have no idea. But now, we're on to the second, sort of blah presentation from Nintendo, an Indie World. People usually don't get too excited for Indie Worlds, but must I remind you guys, we have had some pretty cool announcements in the past. Now, I think the best announcements from one of these was Cadence of Hyrule, which is a spin-off, basically, of Crypt of the Necrodancer skinned in Zelda. So imagine that game, but it's Zelda, and it's a Zelda rhythm game. It's a pretty interesting experience. It's not tried and true, but it was cool that Nintendo was so willing to work with indies at that time. And I'm really curious if that's something that they will ever delve back into, because that was really the one time we saw it from them. I would love to see what they could do with maybe giving like the Mario IP or the Donkey Kong IP or something like that, like a platformer, to a more indie studio. Maybe the studio that makes Celeste could go after the next Kirby game or platformer game that is smaller, maybe 20 bones or something, instead of as expensive as the Switch games have been lately, because I think that could also win a little bit of consumer grace back. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are upset about the $70 and the $80 games. I think it's obnoxious. Unfortunately for the channel and for me, I am going to continue to buy those games just because I like to play them, but it is pretty unfair what they're doing currently in the economy and all this shit, and we could get into that furthermore with the tariffs and all that crap, but I know you guys don't really want to hear about that, and I don't really want to talk about it too much. So, back to the indie world. This presentation is not going to have Hollow Knight Silksong. I don't know how many times we have to talk about that, but every single time something like this gets announced, let me show you guys. People in the comments, Silksong, every single time. And it's always the most liked, reply, for the most part. And just to be completely crystal clear with what I think, I really think that Silksong is a big enough IP to be and stand on its own in a normal Nintendo Direct. People will be excited about it in that bigger presentation that is probably going to get bigger coverage, and Nintendo knows that. Gaming journalists are not as keen to cover things like the indie worlds and the partner showcases as they are to cover mainline Nintendo Directs. So, again, Silksong, I don't think it's going to be present here. I'd love to be wrong, but I think getting our hopes up continuously for this game that we haven't heard a peep of since the Switch 2 announcement, right? Like when that came out, we had got a little bit of information about that, but other than that, it's been pretty radio silent on their end. So I just really, truly would not expect too much in that regard. But a lot of people leaked this Nintendo Direct. They said it was going to happen earlier. Switch Force was one of them. A lot of people have been talking about it. We're going to get a new big Nintendo Direct this month. And this is the big Nintendo Direct. And now, why does everyone call this the big Nintendo Direct to get everybody excited? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, clicks. It's how you get views on YouTube, by being honest and saying that there's an indie world and it's not a major direct. People are honestly less interested. So if you want to get those views up, you want to, do all the YouTube stuff, it's more beneficial to call it a normal direct. But this is not a normal direct. So please do not go into this expecting anything first party from Nintendo. I think the coolest thing we could possibly get here is something along the lines of, like, you guys remember when Shredder's Revenge was announced to be coming to the Switch? That was cool. That was cool. And I think something like that could be cool. Toxic Crusaders, I think recently got a release date or something like that, so we could see something there. There's some other indie games. The brand new indie game, Peak, everybody's freaking playing it on streams and stuff. It looks hilarious. I need them to bring that to the Switch because that would actually be extremely exciting for me. I've been wanting to check out that game for a while, and I'm trying to figure out how I could stream it. But the fact that, like, I stream off of one computer that I would also have to play Peak on, I think my computer would probably combust, so I'm not going to really put that pressure on it. But something small, but small wins are important. The indie health on the Nintendo Switch is also important. So hopefully, people are excited about these games still and they continue to come and whatever. And truthfully, we all want that big Nintendo Direct, and we're just going to have to wait until September. They've got the timelines all jumbled up now with the Nintendo Switch 2 release, but I think we're starting to get back on track slightly. So hopefully we can expect a more fleshed out picture of what the rest of the year is going to look like, because currently we don't have a release date for Kirby Air Riders. We don't have a release date for Metroid Prime 4. Hyrule Warriors, I can't say that, but the fucking Warriors Hyrule game, Imprisoning War. That is coming out in winter. So what does winter mean? I think there's a lot of unanswered questions that Nintendo is going to need to tell us sooner rather than later, because people are getting antsy. What is happening? Where is everything? I'm confused personally, but in the meantime, I've been playing a hell of a lot of Donkey Kong Bonanza, one of the best games ever. And if you want to catch this presentation live, I will be live tomorrow, probably at 5:30 a.m. I will try to not sleep through this baddie this time. The partner showcase, we were an hour late, but we got it done at the end of the day. But let me know what you guys think about it. And thank you guys for watching this video. It's a little bit more off the cuff, as we like to do when these kind of sporadic announcements get shown off. So if you liked the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. This one. Check out this baddie. It's a banger. It's a vibe. It's a good time. I'll see you over there. Adios.